Dumalang. Welcome back. My name is Chan if you are new here, and welcome to the channel. Nagilang Wanawabadimu if you are new here, and this is my channel about spiritual awakening that will help us go on this journey to enlightenment. And usually we use Bible scripture to be the vehicle that drives us forward, and using Bible scriptures in a very symbolic manner because we are aware of the lies and the deceits that have been placed upon us in the things that we read, the things that we see and perceive. Therefore, we ask for wisdom and intelligence from the high and mighty divine one to guide us in the right path to truth, because it's always going to be truth above all things. But today I'll be going a little bit of script because, as I've said maybe not many times, but occasionally, that I'm a very energetic person. And energy is a language of its own that speaks to us. And the energy is feeling very icky for me these days. One particular reason being the lunar eclipse that is upon us, and the fact that it's closing out cycles of 2-year karmic things. And karmic cycles have to do with lessons and journeys and connections we may take with people and things and situations, but they are ultimately there to help us grow and learn, and usually in the most toxic of manners, because that's usually where we grow the most, is through suffering and through pain, right? And now we have reached that end of the cycle, and whatever comes, we will have to accept it for the truth, and we should have the courage actually to do what is needed for us to get to a better place, because it's so easy to feed into the fear of, if I do this thing or if I take one step forward, what if something goes wrong? But it is courage that makes us better people, that in spite of the fear, we still do it. Because one thing courage has always taught me is that even if you don't get what you want, what is necessary will always be there. And it will always be apparent to you, right? And yeah, I do really, I know we all have our beliefs and understandings and our perceptions. I'm definitely one who understands how I work with the moon. I think it was in primary school where we were taught about the high tides and low tides, which like are spring tides of the ocean beds, and how they are affected by the moon, which is either when it's full or if it's new meaning that you can't actually see it. And that begged the question, because I always find myself feeling a different type of way when the full moon is upon us or the new moon. And I'm like, but if as a human, we're about like 55 to 60% of water. And if the moon's lighting affects the ocean tides, and me who's made about 60% of water, how can I be unaffected by the same thing, right? That's why I've had to open up my awareness and being very cognitive of how I feel, especially as the moon cycles go in and out, right? And especially being a very energetic person and being very strong in my feminine energy, I have come to like an understanding of where I stand, and where I stand is not where everyone else might understand or might perceive it in the same manner. But I think it is important for us to be aware of what may push us and what may pull us. And what for me has read very much in this environment is that a lot of manifesting will be taking place. I do feel a lot of energies trying to push on my energy. I think a lot of people are trying to manifest me. And to be honest, I don't care, because I'm as much as I understand energy, and I'm a very energetic an empathetic person. I am much more a knower that your actions say much more about you as a person than just you manifesting. Manifesting and wanting something and desiring something is not gonna bring it to you. It is the actions that we have to take forward to what we want that brings the change in our life. So yeah, I don't care who pulls on my energy and whatever. I deal with it however necessary it is for me to deal with it. But yeah, you will never get the satisfaction that like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I remembering this person? Let me call them. Oh hell no, baby. You the one manifesting me, not the other way around. What I'm manifesting, I am jointly working and putting effort into it. So I don't have any troubles. Troubles is a normal thing. But like what comes with my manifestation and my actions is what I'm going through and how I understand it to be. But additionally, because for me, whatever desire is in front of me, divine is involved. I do have this innate feeling of, yeah, it will come to me. We will meet, and whatever action I have to take towards that manifestation will come true because I know where I stand with my divine, and my divine is not outside of me. Divinity is within, and if I don't need to go far and wide and ask for something that is not mine, right? So yeah, I think for me that's just a personal thing that I'm feeling. But if divine has given me the opportunity to talk about it, I do believe then it is actually like a collective thing. Because yeah, no, that moon is stretching our waters. It's stretching our waters. And symbolically water is an emotional thing. That's why our emotions will be up and down. I know how much of an asshole I can be during these times of the full moon. and and I thank divine that I live with people who kind of like understand who they're dealing with and take me as I am, right? And that's a blessing in itself. But I think one other thing I wanted to talk about, because the people who I'm aware are manifesting me are very karmic in nature to me, right? I'll say karmic because generally I don't actually like, enemies is not a thing, right? I think people might want to make us their enemies, and that's their problem. That's your problem, baby. That's your cup of tea. That's what's keeping you at night. I might be keeping you at night, and it's a shame. Because you there's so much to life within ourselves to focus on than another person. However, this being like karmic people manifesting me, there's something that I learned during this long period of discovery. And you learn about a lot about how people pray, and you try things that other people do because they advise you, and this return to sender is a very, very popular thing nowadays. And I'll be honest, for me it never worked. I just found myself still in the same place. I'm like, what's going on? And one thing that worked for me was praying for my enemies. And those two laws that Yeshua gave us: love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength and might, and love your neighbor as yourself. And I learned something in this process, that when I actually pray for my enemies and not for their destruction, that's what they're doing. That's how they're praying for me, is my destruction, but I'm not like them. So if I pray for them how I pray for myself, right? Because I love them as myself. If I pray for them like myself, then I'm actually taking myself out of the equation of I'm at war with them. And I pray two prayers for my enemies. The one is that I pray that God finds them where they are. And the second one is, may God give them the desires of their heart according to His will,